Thanks for staying with us here on THV 11 Plus. For Arkansas News Now, I'm Ashley King with meteorologist Tracy Bean. And Tracy, I know you've been tracking this large winter weather system that's arriving at some point today, right?
Yeah, it's going to be later tonight. So the good news is the kids can get into school and get home safely. You can go to work and get home safely, but do those errands a little bit earlier. As you already know, it is very cloudy out there, very breezy. We are going to continue to see that wind usher in that cold air. We do have our weather impact alert again. That impact being that winter storm. We're going to see snow, sleet, and freezing rain throughout the state starting tonight through Sunday, and bitter cold temperatures. And again, as I said earlier, this is really something we need to focus on as well. And you know, the stuff coming from the sky, it is going to cause some troubles. It's going to be fun for a few folks, but it is going to be so cold for a long duration. We are going to see hazardous travel and big impacts, I think, even in southern Arkansas, with possibly power, because we're going to see more again of that cold air moving in, and maybe even some of that ice, but protecting the people, the pipes, and the pets. 39 is central Arkansas, but just to our north, this is all that cold air that is headed our way. It just started rushing in. So again, it's going to get colder and colder for sure as we are heading into the next little bit. We're going to start to see again some of that as light snow maybe starting around the 7 p.m. But once we go below freezing, we're not coming back above until Tuesday of next week. It's going to be very, very cold again and breezy, maybe a little bit heavier as we're heading into that 9-10 o'clock hour. But as we mentioned earlier, you can go ahead and check my Facebook page as well for this and scan that QR code, and you will be able to check that radar anytime, anywhere.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, this storm system is so large. Air travel is expected to be tough this weekend across the country, including here at home. THV 11's Tamer Knight joins us live from Clinton National Airport. Tamer, how are the airport, or how is this airport just preparing for travelers?
Well, good afternoon, Ashley. I'm here at Clinton National Airport where they are actually preparing. We've saw some of the equipment, a snow broom. We have some de-icers that they're going to be using to put down on the runway just in case it snows. But Ms. Heather Kendrick is going to tell us a little bit more about it because she knows a little bit more than I do. And Ms. Heather, how exactly are you guys preparing for the winter weather this weekend?
Yes, so we have got an all hands on deck situation in terms of our facilities crews and operations employees, and so they are ready for whatever the winter weather might bring. The type of equipment and chemicals and supplies and things like that that they'll use to keep the runways open and to clear surfaces like the parking lots and things like that really depends on what the precipitation actually looks like once the weather moves in. So they have a lot of things on standby and a lot of people on standby ready to go whenever that happens tonight.
And it's to my understanding, some airlines have decided to cancel flights, not just from Little Rock, but across the country due to the inclement weather.
That's right. So the airlines make the decisions on whether or not a flight happens or not. And several airlines have already canceled flights for this evening, primarily after about 7 p.m., and then for tomorrow as well. Looking into Sunday, I think most of those are still on the schedule. For now, they'll probably make that call later. So they make the call on that. The best thing that passengers can do is to check directly with their airline about any flight status or rescheduling, things like that.
Is there anything else you'd like to say maybe to travelers who are going to be headed to the airport this weekend?
Just be careful. You know, a lot of times people are concerned with, is my flight going to take off or not? And we will keep the runways clear, and our goal is to maintain full operations here. But you also have to take into consideration roadways from your house to the airport, and you want to make sure you check road conditions like on iDrive Arkansas or something like that to make sure that you can get here safely and then fly out safely.
Okay, well, as you heard, they have icers, they have brushes to sweep the snow if it does snow. And travelers, if you are flying this weekend, make sure you check your itinerary to make sure those flights have not been canceled from here at Clinton National Airport. For THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
Thank you, Tamer. During an earlier winter weather press conference, Mayor Frank Scott Jr. made an important plea for every resident living in Little Rock regarding the importance of safety.
But we also want to take this time to share when this winter weather hits. If you do not have to be on the road, stay at home. Please do not add any extra friction to the roads while we're out clearing the roads, and because it can cause more harm than you realize. And so unless you absolutely have to be on the road, please do not be on the road. So please stay at home.
The mayor adds that the city is ready to handle the incoming storm. Public Works has started its 24 hours operation with road treatment, consisting of at least a dozen trucks to cover major roads. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is deploying nearly 200 guardsmen in preparation for the winter storm beginning today. The Arkansas National Guard is set to staff nearly 30 weather response teams. This will be to help Arkansas State Police with possible stranded drivers. In addition, they will be ordered to stay active, providing command control and public affairs support. And when temperatures get as low as we anticipate, the scary thought of being without heat is real. Different groups are opening warming centers across Arkansas to keep people safe. In Little Rock, a 24-hour emergency shelter opens tonight at the Dunbar Community Center on West 16th at 6. It will stay open until further notice. Other shelter locations include North Little Rock's Community Center, Hot Springs Community Resource Center on Hobson Avenue, Jacksonville's New Commandment Church, and Benton's Northside Church of Christ. Then there are also 3 in Conway: the John Owens Sports Center, the McGee Center, and the Conway Emergency Shelter. These are all open to anyone who needs to escape the cold. It will likely be needed. Once the snow and wintry mix arrive tonight, we expect roads to become dangerous within hours. That makes a busy evening for tow trucks and emergency crews. THV 11's Catherine Rowley shows us how tow truck drivers are getting ready and what you can do to keep them safe.
We're out on the side of the road trying to save people's lives and pull people out of the ditch. It's very important that you recognize red, amber, and blue lights. When you see them on the side of the highway, please get out of the way. Slow down or move over.
Tim Moody, general manager at J Hook Towing and Recovery, says their trucks are ready for the storm, but they need help from the community.
We're going to be out with this weekend working. We're going to be working accidents, pulling people out of the ditch. It's very important that if you see us, please get out of the way, let us do our job, and try to do it safely. That's very important.
Tow trucks are emergency service vehicles. They often join law enforcement at the scene of major accidents, whether it's sunny or snowy. Moody says that safety remains the top priority.
Making sure our trucks are all up to date, make sure we got chains, make sure we got de-icer, make sure the drivers have stuff on their shoes to keep them falling, make sure everybody's going to be warm. It's very important that we try to take care of our employees and try to be safe and try to get everybody handled as quick as we can.
With potentially challenging roads, response times will slow. Moody asks for patience for his crew and urges drivers to be prepared in case they get stuck.
Just keep in mind, always have a blanket, have your phone charged up, plenty of gas, because if you get off in the ditch, you're probably going to be there a while waiting for a wrecker to get to you. So it's very important that you be very careful, be very precautious on what you're doing. And we're going to be there to try to help you the best we can, but we can only go so fast. So I mean, we're not going to be quick response times.
Catherine Rowley, THV 11 News.
RDOT crews have been busy pre-treating the roads, but once the bad weather comes in, officials say you should stay home. In the event that you absolutely need to leave, remember to move over for emergency lights. It's state law. And if you can't move over, slow down. Right now, every utility company is closely following what kind of precipitation is expected this weekend, or in the case of Entergy, with such a wide area, expecting all kinds of precipitation. Trucks are on standby here in Little Rock, ready to deploy. The same goes for gas provider Summit Utilities and municipal systems like Conway Corp, all expecting a busy stretch.
One of the things we really try to focus on too is our customer service and communication. These kind of events, it makes people nervous, so we want to make sure that we're communicating with them effectively about what's going on.
We will have personnel staged all throughout the region to help our emergency response times and to make it so that we can get to the emergencies as quickly as possible by strategically locating our people throughout.
Officials continue to remind residents to stay clear of downed power lines and to act quickly if they smell natural gas. Leave the area and contact your gas provider right away. As crews prepare for higher energy this weekend, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Little Rock District is ready to bring hydropower plants online across Arkansas and southern Missouri. The move is meant to boost electricity as demand rises and help stabilize the grid. Several dams in the White River Basin and along the Arkansas River could increase output today through Monday. Officials warn that added generation may lower lake levels quickly, urging boaters, marinas, and dock owners to monitor conditions. With many in Central Arkansas preparing for incoming winter weather, some at U of A are sharing what they're doing to get ready too.
Snow pants all weekend.
Whether you're planning to stay in or brave the cold to play in the snow that's expected to fall.
We're gonna go jeans.
I have my winter coat ready.
People are making sure to bundle up. Students at the University of Arkansas say they're stocking up on layers, hot coffee, and yes, even some survival essentials to get through the cold.
Stock up on lean cuisines.
Many waiting in long lines to get everything they need.
I had to make sure I had everything I needed, like cat litter and all of that. And it was just packed. Like all the stores were just packed whenever I was going through. It took like 15 minutes of waiting in line to get like one item.
While some get necessities, others are getting ready to have some fun.
Got a sled to get pulled around by my roommate. You know, we're making sure it's going to be a good time in the snow.
But safety is top of mind. Students I talk to say they'll have extra layers on and their biggest coats.
I'm gonna have to go with Carhartt. Keeps you warm, very high quality stuff, and I can't recommend it enough.
Okay, better than Barber?
Yes, better than Barber.
Gotta say, the Barber jacket, best there is, keeps you warm. It's also very stylish, so Barber all the way.
They are ready for some fun. Well, still ahead on THV 11 Plus, winter weather is expected to impact much of the country this weekend and what you can do to be prepared.
And along with that snow, sleet, and freezing rain, we've got some very cold temperatures headed our way, and they're going to stick around for a while. We're going to remember, again, those 3 Ps, they are priority as we're heading into the next couple of days. I'll talk about that in my forecast coming up. Well, good afternoon. We have a massive winter storm, of course, that is making its way across the United States. It starts all the way out west. We're already seeing a few little rain showers in Texas, but temperatures are still above freezing. So again, not seeing any impacts just yet, but we will before long. Winter storm warning for most of the state, and then that ice warning down south. Again, we're going to have to watch our friends down there as we've got some freezing rain headed their way. And this is what we do expect, mostly sleet here in Central Arkansas. I do think we'll get a little bit of snow as well, and we are going to factor in a little freezing rain as well. There could be some areas of even some heavy snow, but most of that will stay off to the north. And as we're heading down south, again, all of that for the most part is going to be that sleet and again some freezing rain, and that can make for quite the mess down there in southern Arkansas, especially with the power lines and the roads. Talking about our timing here, things have been pushed just a little bit. I still think we're going to see maybe some light snow rolling into Central Arkansas around the 7 o'clock time frame, but it does get a little bit heavier as we're heading into again the 8 o'clock to 11, and then a little after midnight for our friends over there in northeast Arkansas. So talking about again that wintry precip, just as equally important as this dangerous cold temperatures that are going to be heading our way. We're already starting to feel those really cold air making its way to us with those gusts of around 30, but we could see some wind chills that are -5 to -15. So again, warnings and watches across the state. Make sure you're bundled up. We're going to see these below freezing temperatures, 85 to 100 hours again below freezing. That's a lot, and that's a big impact on our pipes, people, and the pets. So just again, make sure that you are taking care of each other and everyone around you, and don't forget to stream those faucets as well. Looking at these winds, they picked up as we thought they would. Again, we're seeing some gusts of around 30 miles per hour. They're going to continue to be very breezy throughout the day. Currently, it is 39 degrees. We're going to kind of settle into those mid-30s or so for a good while, and then we'll really start to see those temperatures dropping as we're heading into the overnight hours. But with that wind, it feels like 29 degrees out there, and again, seeing mainly that northeasterly flow, really starting to feel those teens and even lower 20s, and it'll make its way to us here before long. Now, the snowfall forecast, as I mentioned, there is a chance we could see a little snow here in Central Arkansas as well. I think it'll mostly be sleet, which I'll show you here in a second, but the sweet spot, if you will, is going to be the northern tier of the state. The further you go south, the less of a chance, of course, we do have that snow. Sleet is going to be the main thing here in Central Arkansas, 2 to 4 inches. And again, if you are around that area, you know, of those lines, that freeze line, you may see a little bit of the other. But again, as we're heading into the southern portion of the state, this is really where we're going to need to make sure we're keeping an eye, because we're going to see some areas again that do get that freezing rain, and that could have issues on the roads, on the power lines, on the trees, and you know, it can make a big mess. So we have to be extra careful there. Timing things out here again as we're heading into the 7 o'clock hour, a few little light showers are possible, those snow showers, and we'll see maybe a little snow at first. Again, as we're heading into midnight, we're right there on that line, wouldn't you know it? Now, as it continues to make its way through the evening, again, a little bump of maybe some sleet, maybe a little of snow. As we're heading into the morning hours, we'll transition more to that sleet. Now, as we're heading into Sunday, we could get a little wave of some snow again, but overall, we're going to continue again to get mostly sleet. So I'm not expecting huge amounts of snow here in central Arkansas, but combined with the sleet, we could see again maybe at 3 inches or a little bit above. Now, there's a chance as we're heading into Sunday for a second wave. There may not be moisture enough for this to happen. I don't think we're going to get anything here in central Arkansas, but they could get a little bit more there in the northern tier of the state. Now, those road impacts are going to linger. I think as we're heading into the weekend, anything that does pop on the ground, we're going to continue to see it stay, and then it's going to make for maybe a messy Monday. I'm wondering about Monday for school, to be perfectly honest. I think a lot of this will be on the ground. We're going to start Monday with those morning temperatures in the single digits, and not only single digits, like 3. It's going to be cold, so it's going to take a while for those side streets and back roads where the buses go to be able to get back there safely. So we're going to have to kind of hang tight and wait and see, but those temperatures again are going to be in the teens and dipping, and they're not really warming up much for those lows in the morning, and they're going to be really cold as far as that wind chill goes. On Saturday, it's 0, again 5, and then -5 Monday, and it's not warming up much as we're heading into again the last few days. And although we will finally, and I say finally, go above freezing by the time we get to Tuesday, it's only around 38, and then for the rest of the week, things aren't really warming up too much more. 7-day forecast, again, make sure we're staying safe. Weather impact alert through Monday, and that is for that wintry precip and that bitter cold temperature.
Well, as you just heard Tracy say, this is a large storm sweeping across the country, and millions of people will be affected. And there are some preparations you can take at your home today. Nicole Valdez explains from Nashville.
If you're hunkering down this weekend, do a little homework first.
The part that causes the most damage to a house is going to be a busted water pipe.
Nashville Home Inspector Lane Rockensock knows just how much damage snow and ice can do, especially in the south.
We don't build houses for 10 inches worth of snow.
Rockensock recommends clearing the snow off your roof and cleaning your gutters, so when the ice melts, it drains away from your home. And to prevent a burst pipe, keep your faucets dripping inside, and outside, keep them covered to avoid a pricey water leak.
How much money could people have to shell out if this happens to them?
It's thousands. It could be tens of thousands.
Damage you may not even see until it's too late.
This is where you can get water damage, mold, mildew growth.
City officials here say the key is planning ahead.
What should people be thinking about and doing right now?
Right now, they should be preparing for a long weekend. Make it where you don't need to be out on the roadway.
Of course, another major issue we could see with this winter storm are power outages. In some cases, they could last days. If you do lose power, don't try using one of those propane heaters or generators inside your home, because inhaling those fumes can be deadly. Nicole Valdez, CBS News, Nashville.
Well, predictions and conditions are going to keep evolving as we await this winter storm moving in later today. Be sure to join Chief Meteorologist Tom Brennan live right here on THV 11 Plus at 2:30 this afternoon for the latest updates. And for an update right now, Tracy, you've been keeping us up to date, and it has kept changing.
Yeah, it has. We are looking at it moving in maybe just a tad bit later tonight, but I think it'll still start light snow around 7 and then get a little bit heavier later. But those winds are gusty, and again, we're going to see those temperatures continue to fall today. Once they drop below freezing today, they're not coming back up until Tuesday. So again, continue to make sure you are checking the weather and just stay safe.
That was my daughter's first question is, will I go to school on Monday?
I can't officially say no, but I'll be surprised.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us again. 2:30 is when you can catch Tom Brennan right here on THV 11 Plus.